Today I'm starting a full central heating installation in a one-bedroom flat in Kingston. What this property has at the moment is an old heat-only ideal boiler, and we have vented hot water cylinder here. So I'll be taking all of this lot out, converting this system into a sealed system. All those pipes you see right here, all of that will go. The boiler will go as well, and I'll put a new combination boiler on this wall right here. So once I remove this whole lot, this whole airing cupboard is emptied, what they'll be able to do, they'll be able to demolish this partition wall and make a nice spacious kitchen. There is a stopcock right here without a handle, so we'll try to turn it off with pump grips. It's moving, good. Yeah, we turned the water off, that's all good. Now, because we still have cold water storage system full of water, what I have to do, I have to turn the hot water on and let it drain really slowly. Yeah, we got it. I can use washing machine hose for that, hold on. So before I do any work on the boiler, on the gas line, I check tightness of the installation, but there's no drop at all. This whole installation is sound. So I'm gonna remove this pipe and then remove the boiler off the wall. And the reason why I'm taking an Intergas Exclusive on this job is this is a tiny one-bed flat that needs less than 4 kilowatts output when it's -3 outside. And Exclusive can modulate to 3.6 kilowatt, which is pretty decent. Any other boiler that's unable to modulate lower than to, let's say, 5 or 6 kilowatts would be cycling unnecessarily. So yeah, what we have is a central flue, finally. So when you swap for another brand, this flue is in the center, that's nice. Now on the other side, the massive trap that those boilers used to have is gone, and there's a standard tiny trap, similar size as on most of the boilers out there. Small bracket, same hose connection, which is nice that they give you a thing like this. So it comes with straight valves, and this is the same story as with using other Intergas boilers such as HRE or EcoRF. You need to bend offsets. So I'm halfway through the installation, and there is one thing this boiler does that not many boilers can do. Because as you can see, my flow and return is not connected yet. I still have to install the whole pipework and radiators throughout the property. But I've got my gas, cold supply and hot outlet already installed, and I already fired the boiler, because what Intergas can do, it can work as a multi-point water heater. All you have to do is to go to the menu and go to the service mode and set the parameters and change the parameters of the boiler from combi boiler to multi-point water heater, and you can use hot water. So my hot water is on right now, because the way this boiler operates, the heat exchanger heats the water directly on domestic hot water function. So when you turn the hot water on, the cold water goes through the main heat exchanger and is heated directly by gas, and the pump doesn't start in hot water mode, so we don't need central heating connected, and you don't need the system to be pressurized, because you're not exchanging water to water through the plate heat exchanger. And it's brilliant because when you do a larger installation, or even on a combi swap, or a job that takes longer than a day, and you've got customers at home, you can quickly connect gas and main supply and turn the hot water back on while you carry on working on central heating. The only drawback to this design is the fact that this heat exchanger can scale much quicker in hard water areas as opposed to a plate heat exchanger designs. So you always need a robust scale protection, full-blown water softener, which we're doing here, or at least a combi made. Those watsits that you put on the pipe, they probably wouldn't do much, and I don't know if they do much anyway. Now if you look inside the boiler, There's a internal expansion vessel. This is the main heat exchanger, same on all Intergas boilers. Gas valve, pump and a fan. This is 325 volts DC fan, and I was told by Intergas that they had to make it high voltage fan to be able to allow for really low modulation, as this boiler goes to 3.6 kilowatts. The manifold on this boiler was moved from the front flue manifold to the back, and the heat exchanger was moved slightly forward, because on the other versions the heat exchanger sits right at the back, and because it's slightly forward, now when you put the flue elbow on top, you actually don't go with the flue into the wall. So you can actually see the joint on the flue when the elbow joins the main flue. So as you can see, this is a really basic design. Fan, heat exchanger, gas valve, pump, sump and trap, pressure relief and pressure sensor and a flow switch. That's it, nothing else in this boiler. That's simple. And also this is aluminium heat exchanger on the gas side, but inside you've got copper pipework, so it's not 100% aluminium. The system water is separated by copper, so you don't have to worry about aluminium corrosion, and you can use strong chemicals to power flush systems with the boiler connected without having to worry that you will damage the heat exchanger. Now, I've got my radiators installed on microboard throughout the property, apart from the bathroom radiator that will be installed when the bathroom is finished. I'll have to wait for the kitchen fitters to install the kitchen, then I'll come back and put a water softener in place. And also I have to wait for the electrician, and right now I'm running on a just a plug, so I can commission the boiler. Once the boiler is commissioned, I'm gonna unplug it, and I'll come back once the bathroom and kitchen is installed and the boiler is wired to install Nest thermostat and open therm for that boiler, and to set the parameters on the boiler as well. This is the first Intergas Exclusive that I've ever installed, and my first impressions are positive. It has this beautiful display panel. I've never seen anything like it on any of other boilers. It's really nice. Just looks so fancy. I don't like the valves. You still have to do offsets, and the thing about offsets is every single pipe has a different offset. Flow and return has one size offset, cold and hot are closer to the wall, and then gas is again a different distance, so you have to bend 3 different size offsets on this boiler. On HRE there was just one offset, 35mm if I remember correctly. On this one every single pipe is different. What they have addressed, however, is the flue position, which is central, finally, so we don't have to do kind of strange offsets as you had to do on other Intergas boilers where flue is on the left hand side. Also, what they have addressed, if you install this boiler without a spacing jig on the back, the flue elbow on the top of the boiler does not go into the wall, and it does on other boilers such as EcoRF or HRE. Combined pressure and relief, which is nice because it saves you running another pipe. So I've installed oversized radiators on this job. The radiators, I installed the biggest radiators I could get under the windows. And that way we'll be able to run this boiler at temperatures around 50-55 degrees flow when it's -1 outside. So almost like running a heat pump. So this boiler will be extremely efficient on central heating. And I used microbore because with the heat loss of below 4 kilowatts in this 1-bedroom flat, there's just no need to run any bigger pipes. We are fine with head loss and velocities of water in pipes on 10 mil, no problems whatsoever. Another thing is there's a concrete floors everywhere, so the pipes were run in some areas above the floor, and since they are only 10 mil pipework, the carpenter on the job will put a button on top of them and then 6 mil plywood in front of the pipework, so it will look like a regular 22, maybe 25 mil skirting board, and will hide the pipework quite nicely. I will come back to this job to install a water softener when the kitchen is fully installed, and that's going to be a second part of this video when I also will go into more detail about radiator sizing and pipe sizing on this job, and that video when it's ready will be posted here.